Hey, it's Brian Terrian here, and you're about to listen to a conversation with Dawn, who shares 6 disability approval tips that helped her get approved in just months on her initial application. So I hope you find these helpful. For more disability approval tips from the Disability Digest, just look for links that were associated with this video. And of course, if you're not a member here at the Disability Digest, we invite you to join us so you can get tips like this and others to help you get your benefits approved fast. Thank you.
Yeah, so I found the process. All the videos you sent were very helpful.
Oh, that's good to
Um,
hear.
yes, but also I always thought that the I have like a caseworker from Social Security,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought they were to try and get you to not, you know, to not get Social Security or whatever. But she was very helpful, and she said that I was the only one that answered my phone. I think that most people think that they're against you, so they avoid them, you know?
Well, that's interesting that you say that. I've actually never had, this brought up before. Um,
I used to always think they were against you, like they were trying to find stuff
yeah.
um, to find you able to work or
Mm-hmm.
not disabled or whatever, but she was very helpful, and she retyped my entire paper so that I wouldn't have to have a hearing. Um, yeah, she was extremely helpful,
Wow.
which, yeah, really surprised me.
Well, frankly, I'm surprised. I mean, when you go, I don't, I listen to the hearings. I don't go to all the hearings.
Mhm.
But when you're in a hearing with a judge, it
I've
is
been I've been in one before.
okay.
I applied when I think I was around 40, 2000 and 2008, I believe. But the hearing was kind of awful, you know. The judge was very stern, and yeah, it didn't go well. And I had an attorney at that time too, and the whole thing didn't go well.
Huh. Huh.
But with this one, the woman that helped me, she said that I put things down wrong, so she retyped the entire thing, because where it said in the application how long, and I answered them very thoroughly, but she said you can't put, that's a tip that I'd like to give, you can't put that you bend your entire shift.
Um,
She said you have to be specific, like in hours, like you, even if it's not all at once, you spend 30 minutes a day bending.
okay.
And
So
I put my whole shift.
okay. So this was on your work history report.
Yes.
All right. Wow.
And she retyped the entire thing so that it was more presentable.
Okay. Okay. Huh.
Um, so one of the tips I would give is don't avoid your caseworker for Social Security because they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to help you.
Mm-hmm. Like, I expect you've got to feel them out. Um,
Yeah.
because
Well, I
your
did.
situation
Yeah.
is, I'm going to put it in the unique category. Um, yeah, that's great.
And then also, I'd like to tell anybody that's trying to not give up because um, when I went for my physical uh, determination or whatever, where they gave me the address, it wasn't there. And I guess normally I probably would have turned around, but I was determined. So I ended up calling them and saying, "Look, I'm in the parking lot and I don't see your where you're at." And they said, "Oh, we moved it." So they hadn't sent me anything saying they were going to move it. And where it was at was so small, no one would have ever seen it unless they were told, you know. and so that I would say don't give up. Make sure you call them and find out where they're at.
hmm I want to make sure I get this. So you went to an independent medical exam with one of the Social Security doctors. You
Yeah.
pull into the parking lot at the address they provided, and there's no one there.
There's nothing. Yeah, with the address they gave, there was nobody there. It was an empty, like not building. It was like in a strip mall,
Oh boy. Okay.
and there was nobody there. And I drove up and down looking for their spot, and it was something medical matters. It's in that paperwork I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no one there. Well, they said that they changed it. They moved it down, and they put a piece of paper in the window. You can't see that piece of paper in the window. So I was like kind of frantic because I was late, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's just what you need going into an exam.
right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was another tip I wanted to give. Don't give up. Don't let them win, you know.
Yeah. 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 So, I mean, you definitely beat the odds getting approved at the initial application. That fast is is great. It doesn't happen often.
No.
So those are good tips for sure. Is there anything else that stands out?
Yeah, they just you get flagged if you answer a certain way, so it's good to know, you know, especially that was the biggest mistake I made before too, was that you can't phrase it as the whole shift or very, very generic. You can't be generic. You have to be very specific.
Yes, so you can clearly communicate the challenges, limitations.
Yes, and it's like you have to tell them if you're bending, because they want to know what can you not do that you used to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you used to be on your hands and knees at work and you can't do that anymore, then you need to say, I have to do that for 2 hours in an 8-hour shift.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be 2 whole hours on your hands and knees at once. But they need a specific time limit so that it equals your whole shift.
Okay, great advice.
So if you have an 8-hour shift, then I spend 6 hours walking, 2 hours bending, and 2 hours, or an hour bending and an hour on my hands and knees. That makes up an 8-hour shift.
Okay. Okay. So like in the work history, I think it's number 5 when people fill that out. If they were to put those specifics in there about their job, like what they do for work, instead of saying I am, I'm an administrative assistant, then they put the details of sitting, how many hours,
Yes.
standing,
Yes.
how many hours. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That's what attorneys tell people to do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely, I think that was one of the biggest points that helped me, and that I answered every time she called,
Right.
and she said, "You're the only one that answers the phone." I did because the last time I didn't, and I figured even if she's against me, I can't not talk to these people. She was super helpful,
Mm-hmm. I know people,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but I know several individuals, my mental Rolodex is just scanning through them right now, that have had their cases denied because they were incommunicado, didn't answer their phone.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I wanted to say during the examination, they found stuff that I didn't know I had. Like I have a hernia that I didn't know I had. So that was helpful too but I don't know. It was very different this time, and I'm assuming it's because of COVID than they were the last time. Last time I felt like I was under a gun, and this time it wasn't so bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's correct.
But, yeah, I have more stuff wrong with me time, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that
And
probably had something to do with it.
yeah, that certainly does. In your age, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I just want to formally ask for your permission to allow me to share these tips, which are
Oh,
priceless for
absolutely,
people. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of people. I think they don't answer their phone like I did last time because they're afraid that they're going to say the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not the case. They're
Mm-hmm.
there to help you, not hurt you.
Mm-hmm. Great.